So now we're back with DC, and back with a movie so good that it actually craps on its predecessor, even in its name. What, you think we're Suicide Squad? No. We're the Suicide Squad. What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Anderson here, and this is The Suicide Squad. Much better movie than the original one. I was very excited to check this out because I heard a lot of good things about it, and it was a lot of fun. There's so much about this that worked much better than the original. First and foremost, I think what shocked me the most, the team aspect worked so much more to where I was actually getting a little emotional at the end. Obviously, spoilers if you haven't seen it for some reason. Yeah, when they killed off Flag and then killed off Polka-Dot, I actually was a little sad about that. On top of that, you have that moment at the end where Ratcatcher is sending all of her rats to attack the monster, and something about that, it was very well done with the music to the point where I felt a little emotional. I wasn't tearing up or anything, but it felt good for a moment. But I actually cared about this team. When they're in the bar and they're all drinking before the cops show up and they're waiting for the thinker, I actually felt like this was a team. I felt this connection that they all had. Some of the conversations they had about like Ratcatcher's backstory. We're talking about Bloodsport's connection to his daughter. I mean, there's so much about this that worked so well. And I actually cared about these characters. The story as well, I think, is a lot more natural. It still is this team cleaning up the mess of something that the government has done, which is kind of what the first one was as well. Waller and everything she was trying to do sets up for the bad guys of the movie. But this one feels a lot more natural because it's something that's been building up for decades, and it's something that the government is responsible for, and they're there to basically cover it up. But it's not about taking down the bad guy that the government caused. It's more so about trying to keep the fact that the government was involved in all of this from getting out. And that to me feels a lot more like what Waller and her team would want to do. And then this group of bad guys ultimately, with the heart of gold, decides, you know what, no, we're not going to just leave all these people to die. And that's what leads to the ultimate showdown with Starro. So because of that, I think this movie works so much better. And it was a lot funnier too. A lot of great jokes, a lot of dark humor involved as well, which really helped. It was really funny because I wasn't really sure what to expect at the beginning, so I wasn't fully invested at first. I wasn't laughing, I was just a little confused because you got this whole team that's storming this one beach. And I remember thinking, this is weird. Like, I know none of these guys are involved, so I figure they're all gonna probably get killed off, but there's some big star power here. You got Michael Rooker, Pete Davidson, Jai Courtney is back as Captain Boomerang, Nathan Fillion as well. Rick Flag and Harley Quinn are also here, so I'm thinking they're not all gonna die, because Harley Quinn is, I know, is a part of the movie. So I think I was more so confused when I was watching that first scene. I wasn't really sure where it was going to go from here, how it was going to build toward what I knew, because I'd seen from the trailers. So I tend not to watch a whole lot of trailers anymore, because I had seen that Starro was the big villain for this. But I wasn't really sure how this was all going to lead to that. But looking back now, I do appreciate a lot more what that opening scene does. I do kind of respect the fact that Jai Courtney came back for this movie just to die. I don't really know much about him as an actor, but something about that I do respect. Like, you know that the first movie was so hated, and yet you're willing to come back just for your character to get killed off in the opening sequence. I think as an actor, you have to appreciate the irony in that, and I assume that he did, and that's why he was okay with getting killed off so early on. Also, I'll have to look up who Weasel was, because it was too weird a role for it to not be some famous actor under all that CGI, right? But I do like that setup because it does prepare you for the rest of the movie. It shows a lot more of the gore that you're going to be seeing throughout the movie, some of the dark comedy with the fact that all these characters were brought on just to die. It shows Waller's ruthlessness as well, that she literally sent a team in just to die to be a distraction for the other team that was actually carrying out the mission. Although I do want to know, were Flag and Harley Quinn supposed to die on that beach as well? Because it seems weird that she sent them in with that team that was just there to get killed. But then whenever Flag does survive, she tells the other team to go save him. So that was the only question that I was left with from that opening scene, was were Harley Quinn and Flag supposed to die on that beach as well? And if so, then why does she care so much to save Flag after they got out? But without trying to recap too much, a couple of the other scenes that did really work for me and honestly made me laugh. First of all, everything to do with Polka-Dot. He's a very funny character. A lot of his dark humor, depressed humor, it's the type of jokes that I tend to make a lot. So I really enjoyed a lot of his stuff. Also, the fact that he kept seeing his mother. Like, that was his whole thing, is he sees his mother and he wants to kill her. So that ultimate payoff for the joke, "Hit your mother," is a giant version of her. Oh, it's brilliant. Also, the scene where they save Flag and they're told that all these people are dangerous, so just shoot and kill on sight. And then you come to find out, apparently it's Resistance had found Flag. And so they wipe out most of the resistance. And that scene, whenever they realize it, I had to laugh. It was really funny. Now, if you're not expecting dark humor, I'm assuming probably wouldn't find that funny. But because I was already expecting it from the opening scene, it just fits so perfectly. And I did like a lot of the humor surrounding King Shark as well. We've seen this type of character before that doesn't say a whole lot of words. It's just a big hulking brute. So it's definitely a stereotype. But I think what they did with him, a lot of the humor surrounding him, not really having friends, trying to fit into the group despite the fact that he can't really speak well. The whole scene with him talking about, oh yes, a big mustache. It's really funny. So yeah, the comedy in this movie really worked. The emotions, the story that they built with these characters, the team, a lot of that worked as well. And then the music, the action, the effects, all of that really brought it home. The effects were really impressive, which is not something that I could say for most of the DC movies that I've watched before this. So all in all, really good film. The only thing that I do have questions on, and it's one of those things where sometimes whenever you know what's coming later, like for instance when I was watching Stranger Things through the first few seasons, because I had seen some of the cast pictures, I knew who survived all the way to season 5. So if anybody was ever in danger or if it seemed like somebody died, I knew they weren't actually dead because, well, I saw the cast. I know who's in season 5. I know who's still around. And ironically, it's kind of the opposite happened here. Because I know Peacemaker gets 2 more seasons, his turn at the end, I was not expecting that at all. Mostly because I don't know how you can have him as the main character of a show for 2 seasons when he does something so despicable. Kills Rick Flag and then nearly kills Ratcatcher, who at that point I think a lot of people probably cared about because she had a very emotional backstory, and I think they handled her very well. So the fact that he kills Rick and was about to kill her, it does make me wonder, how do they make people want to watch a show about him? Like, don't get me wrong, John Cena was brilliant in this. A lot of his scenes were very funny. It's so funny sometimes when you've seen a meme all over. He does exactly what I do. Yeah, but better. Well-delivered line. But yeah, throughout the movie, he was one of the better parts of it, but that turn at the end, he's basically the villain. So how do you go and say, let's make a show about him, and how do you get people to care about him? Now, granted, they might not. They might just make him a despicable douchebag. But I feel like that would be difficult to do if he's the main character of the show. So I'll be really curious to see what they do with him in the show. And ironically, the first season of Peacemaker is the next thing up as far as order of release date. So that will be what I'm watching next. How do they handle his character from here on out? Outside of that, I can't really think of anything else in particular to talk about. It was a very fun movie. Had a very good time with it. And again, made me feel something at times, and that's not something that I can say about a lot of DC stuff. So those are all of my thoughts. With that being said, cue the outro. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that review. I hope you enjoyed it. First and foremost, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I love having discussions with people, so whatever your thoughts were, whether you agree or disagree with me, please leave them down below. Obviously, no spoilers. Also, if you did find yourself enjoying this review and you want to see more, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I also have a gaming channel as well as a channel where I talk about soccer, so if you want to give those a follow as well, that would be much appreciated. And lastly, if you want to help me improve upon the quality of these channels, I do have a Patreon. All of this is in the description below. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.